What's up, Football Daily, and welcome back to Scout Report. Chelsea were handed a 2-year transfer ban from FIFA in February after an investigation into their signing of foreign under-18 players. They are currently appealing to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, but it is unlikely to be delayed, meaning that they will have to be extremely clever to remain competitive. Here's how they should do it. 5. Keep Hazard. Without meaning to state the obvious, it is imperative that Chelsea keep hold of their mercurial talisman, 28-year-old Belgian Eden Hazard, this summer. At the time of recording, L'Équipe have already reported that his move to Real Madrid is a done deal, which will be announced after the Europa League final, while Cesar Azpilicueta and Maurizio Sarri have said the club should respect his decision. And it's easy to see why Los Blancos want the 100-capped international. They have scored just 63 goals in La Liga, their lowest tally this century, and only Karim Benzema, with 21, has scored over 8 league goals. Meanwhile, Hazard is coming off his best year in blue yet, with 31 goal contributions in 37 Premier League games, helping secure Chelsea an unlikely third-place finish. He averaged a goal contribution every 94 minutes in the Prem this term, which even blows Benzema's average of 106 minutes per goal contribution in La Liga out of the water. But Chelsea simply can't afford to lose Hazard this summer, with the former Lille man, who has now been at the club for 7 years, contributing to 49% of their league goals this season. The Prem's second most successful dribbler behind Adama Traore and its third best creator behind Willian and James Maddison, Hazard would obviously be a huge loss to any squad. And with Willian and Pedro 30 and 31 respectively, any potential departure of their star player would heap even more pressure on Callum Hudson-Odoi and the incoming Christian Pulisic. 20-year-old American Pulisic doesn't seem ready to carry the mantle just yet, with Lucien Favre only trusting him with just over 1,200 League and Champions League minutes this term, in which he has scored 5 and assisted 3. Despite the public utterances of his manager, we suggest Chelsea force Hazard to stay for the remaining year on his contract and then allow him to leave for free next summer if he still wishes to do so. If they do so, with Real Madrid desperate for attacking recruits, they will likely sign their second choice target, potentially ruling out Hazard out of his dream move next summer as well. If we had the choice between £100 million, not being able to spend it and potentially dropping out of the top 6, or Hazard for another year, we'd plump for the winger every time. 4. Sort out their strikers. Let's face it, Gonzalo Higuain's loan move to Chelsea hasn't gone as Maurizio Sarri hoped. The Italian thought reinstating the 31-year-old Argentine back in his Sarri ball system would turn back the clocks to 2015-16, when he scored 38 goals in 42 games in all competitions. But coming into a struggling side, Higuain failed to rekindle that form with a paltry 5 goals in 18 appearances in all competitions. This is a distinctly average return for a striker who averaged 3.8 shots per 90 whilst playing in a side that took 16 a game, a figure only topped by Champions City. What's worse is that 4 of his 5 Premier League goals came against sides ranked 15th or below in the division. Meanwhile, his poor performances forced Sarri to play Hazard as a false 9 on numerous occasions, position he has publicly said he doesn't enjoy. One option on the table for the Blues hierarchy is bringing back Morata from his 18-month loan spell at Atletico. As miserable as the former Real Madrid frontman seemed in his 18 months in West London, he still scored 16 goals in 35 league starts, and his XG per 90 of 0.6 in the first half of 18-19 was the same as Mo Salah. But even if they don't want to force their homesick striker to see out the remaining 3 years on his contract at Chelsea, Sarri has 2 contracted young and hugely talented strikers to recall. 25-year-old Michy Batshuayi hasn't played for Chelsea since scoring a brace in their 3-0 victory over Newcastle in the FA Cup 4th round in January 2018. Since then, he's been on loan at Dortmund, Valencia and most recently Crystal Palace, where he scored 5 goals in just over 750 league minutes. Chelsea could match the proven quality of Batshuayi with the immense promise of Tammy Abraham, whose 26 championship strikes is the most for a Villa player in a single season since Andy Gray's 29 goals in the 1976-77 campaign. Offer 32-year-old Giroud a new contract, bring back Morata, get rid of Higuain, and promote Batshuayi and Abraham to the first team, and Chelsea will arguably have a better striker roster than this season. But before we move on to our next section, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss another EFD video. 3. Upgrade the defence. While Chelsea only scored 63 league goals this campaign, the fewest in the top 6, they also conceded 39, their second highest tally of the last 7 years, with only Mourinho's meltdown season of 2015-16 topping it. Despite an almost negligible chance of bringing anyone in to arrest that, Chelsea have some very simple options available to them to help. The first, which has already been completed, was to sign David Luiz to a new contract. Signing their most progressive passer, who currently completes 6 long balls a game, 4th for outfield players in the division for the next 2 years, will allow Sarri to build his side around Luiz's burgeoning partnership with Antonio Rudiger. On the other hand, 23-year-old Andreas Christensen doesn't seem to feature in Sarri's plans, and the Dane's €30 million valuation is only depreciating on the bench, so we recommend selling him. One option for the 4th choice centre-back is obviously Ethan Ampadu, with the highly rated Welshman expected to continue to alternate between midfield and defence over the next 2 years. Meanwhile, a wildcard option could be 21-year-old Fikayo Tomori, who has excelled under Frank Lampard at Derby this campaign. The 6'1" England under-21 international missed just 1 championship game, and his 4 tackles and interceptions per 90 was a crucial part of the Rams' solid defence, which conceded 3 fewer goals than champions Norwich. Currently completing 57 passes a game, only topped by defensive partner Richard Keogh, with an 83% accuracy, 13th for centre-backs in the division, he is the basic ingredients to be a Sarri player. And our final defensive suggestion concerns academy graduate Reece James, who has impressed this season on loan at Wigan. The 19-year-old right-back has married 3 tackles and interceptions with 1 dribble and 1.7 key passes per 90. Sarri, if you are listening, please drop the slow and positionally incompetent Marcos Alonso, switch Azpilicueta to the left, and promote Reece James immediately. 2. Utilise the English midfield talent. Maurizio Sarri didn't get the composition of his midfield right at times last season. 3 players who are at their best in a defensive role simply didn't create enough opportunities for their forwards or have enough attacking impetus themselves. In the Italians' last season at Napoli, in which they accumulated 91 points and only finished 4 behind champions Juve, their 4 most used midfielders, Hamšík, Alan, Jorginho and Zielinski, contributed 29 league goals between them. In comparison, Chelsea's 4 midfielders with the most minutes this term, Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic and Barkley, only managed 20 between them. This doesn't sound like a massive drop-off, but in a side in which only 1 player scored over 8 league goals and provided more than 6 assists, Eden Hazard, better attacking output from midfield was much needed. Now, despite battling with a long-standing back problem all season, which Sarri admitted after the Europa League semi-final against Frankfurt may dog him forever, Loftus-Cheek still racked up over 2,000 minutes in all competitions. But a healthy chunk of that was made up of European minutes, with only 985 coming in the Premier League. Despite this, he still scored 6, assisted 2 and operated at 0.5 expected goals and assists per 90, comfortably overshadowing Kante and Kovacic's 0.2. Unfortunately for the 23-year-old, all the promise of this campaign has been curtailed by an Achilles injury sustained in a post-season friendly in Boston. With Kovacic possibly returning to Real Madrid, Loftus-Cheek now injured, and Barkley no stranger to the treatment table, Sarri will need another man in midfield. Step forward 20-year-old emerging star Mason Mount. Portsmouth-born Mount has backed up a 17-18 season in which he contributed 23 Eredivisie goals at Vitesse, with 9 goals and 4 assists playing either as a number 10 or an attacking midfielder in the Championship with Derby. Just shy of 3 tackles and interceptions, 2.6 shots and 1.9 chances created per 90, Mount could be another strong possibility for that 3rd midfield slot. With Barkley, Loftus-Cheek, Mount and a returning Bakayoko on the books, Sarri is overrun with options, each with their own skill set, to partner Kante and Jorginho. 1. Get Sarri to adapt. All things considered, Maurizio Sarri actually had a perfectly acceptable season, having officially joined on the 14th of July 2018 after delays in terminating Antonio Conte's contract. The former banker had just a month to construct a squad able to implement a complete philosophical reshuffle. Out went the often used 3-4-3 of Conte and in came a strict adherence to 4-3-3, with the only permanent outfield arrival being that of £50 million Jorginho. They got off to a perfect start, with 5 straight wins leaving them top in mid-September, and it wasn't until the end of November that Sarri tasted defeat for the first time, with a 3-1 loss away at Spurs. Sadly, from then, defeats became more common, with 5 in their next 13 games, including a 6-0 thrashing at the Etihad, as teams routinely played a lower block and swarmed over the orchestrator Jorginho. Despite failing to materialise a consistent title challenge and ending up 26 points behind champion City, expected goals suggest they have been hard done by. The table suggests they are only 2 points better than 6th place Arsenal, but expected goals suggest they should actually be 10 points clear of the 4th best side, supposedly Man United. So how could Sarri have improved their standing? Well, we would argue through increased tactical flexibility. Their 4-3-3 formation in slow build-up play may have seen them dominate possession, with only Man City topping their 60% average. But despite having quick players like Hazard, Kante and occasionally Hudson-Odoi in the side, Sarri's men have only scored 1 goal on the counter-attack, with only Cardiff managing fewer with 0. Part of this might be down to his strict adherence to patient build-up play, but occasionally changing formation in games wouldn't go amiss. If they are to lose Hazard, we suggest a more flexible 4-2-3-1 with a central attacking midfielder, which could work best. This could work with Kante and Jorginho screening the defence and springing attacks, Loftus-Cheek or Mason Mount with freedom to roam behind a front three of Hudson-Odoi, Abraham or Batshuayi and Willian, backed up by Pulisic, Pedro and Giroud. It might not win a title, but that side should be able to comfortably compete for top 4 football once again, which, considering the circumstances, would be a job well done. So those were 5 ways in which Chelsea can survive their transfer ban, but do you agree? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this, why not click on screen right now? And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.